Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zolotech, and these are the new Samsung Galaxy Buds 4 Pro. They're $249 for the Pro, $179 for the regular version. Now they're refined a little bit, there's some changes to the design, so let's go ahead and open them up. We'll see what they look like, connect them to the phone, and then I'll use them for a while and see what they're like. Let's go ahead and open them up here. So we'll just peel this back. There we go. And you can see the price is right on there. And let's open them up here. So here is the Galaxy Buds 4 Pro, and it looks like we do have something in the box here. So maybe we've got a cable, maybe not. Let's see what we've got. So in here, it looks like we have some earbuds or ear tips, and then also some documentation. So just a quick start guide. So we've got some different ear tips here. So if we open them up, we've got two different sizes here with 4 different ones. Let's open up the Galaxy Buds 4 Pro here. They have an all-new design with a new case as well, and I really like the way these look. So you'll see it says Samsung. If we open them up, they have this metal design to them. The case itself has a USB-C on the back, and then we have a little button here to reset them or pair them if you're not able to. So let's go ahead and remove them and take a look around them. So I really like the way this looks. They magnetically jump right back into the case. Very easy to do that. That's been refined this year. And let's set the packaging aside. So the design has been updated a little bit. So we have different color options. We have black, white, and then pink gold, which is an online exclusive. It has metal sides, as you can see here. They look really nice. So it's plastic, but then metal right here. And then also they have an upgraded cradle, like I mentioned before. So again, it makes it a little bit easier to place them back here. Also, you can swipe up and down for volume controls and customize these as well, so we'll test that out later. And one of the best things is they're 24-bit or 96 kilohertz with a Bluetooth codec only for Samsung. So if you have a Samsung device, they should work with that. They also have a two-way speaker with a wide woofer and a tweeter inside. So let's see if we can remove the ear tips here. They're on there very strong, but you can see here, again, we have a wide woofer, a smaller tweeter inside, and there's a 20% increase in the speaker size. It also has immersive audio as well as enhanced adaptive ANC and an EQ. So supposedly the active noise cancellation is 3 decibels better on the Pro, so it's also more responsive due to real-time generation. It also has Galaxy AI integration with head gestures. You can use Google Music to play music based on the type you want, and also ask even to do things with your smart home as well. You can use Bixby or Gemini, and it recognizes which one you want. And as far as battery life, well, the battery life is 6 hours with active noise cancellation, 30 hours with the cradle, so same as the previous generation. Let's go ahead and get this paired. So you'll see here it says connect. So it says a new device has been found, so we'll give it just a moment here to connect. We can agree to automatic updates, so we'll tap more, and then we'll tap agree. So we can agree to some of them or all of them, but let's go ahead and agree to what we need to here and hit agree. And it says allow the app Galaxy Buds to access Aaron's Buds 4 Pro. We'll tap agree, we'll allow, and it says control your earbuds with gestures. So again, you can control it with a gesture here, similar to what you would have. Typically slide up and down for volume. You can answer or decline calls by nodding or shaking your head. And when you're talking to Bixby, you can also use these gestures to answer yes or no questions to end the conversation. It says you're all set. So now I'll go ahead and use them. I'm also going to use them on the plane on my way to Samsung's Galaxy Unpacked, see what they're like, and then I'll report back after I've used them for about a week. Now, I've been using the Samsung Galaxy Buds 4 Pro for about 5 days now. I used them a little bit before Samsung Unpacked, then on my trip to Samsung Unpacked, which was about a 5 to 6 hour flight, and then I used them after to edit video like this one, and just use them continually to listen to music, edit video, and I even use them to fall asleep. So I thought I'd talk about the overall experience. And the first thing is the actual comfort of them. They're probably the most comfortable earbud I've used in a long time. I'll continue to use them because they're so comfortable. When they're in my ear, they fit perfectly. And of course, this is subjective and based on the shape of your ear, but I find them to be incredibly comfortable. Just wearing them day to day, I really don't know that they're there, and I forget that I have them in, and I just continue to work with them. Again, I find them super comfortable. They don't really cause my ears to itch. And typically with earbuds, I'll have to take them out every hour or so on a flight, sort of let my ear relax, and then I can place them back in. These I left in my ear continually for about 6 hours straight. So really no issues with comfort. And of course, these are the ear tips that come with it, but you have a couple different sizes as well. On the plane, I used active noise cancellation regularly the entire trip and had no issues with it whatsoever. I used it with an iPhone and it functions fine, but then you lose all of the different controls you have with the S25 Ultra. So definitely a much better experience with the S25 Ultra as they pair automatically. You even have an EQ that you can go in there and adjust. We'll talk about sound in a moment though. And I just find the experience is just much better on a Samsung device. But I did use them to edit video, and the only difference is you have to click to have them connect. Now they do have these controls on the side. You can slide up and down to adjust volume. You can press and hold to switch to ambient mode, or press and hold to go back to active noise cancellation. They work great, they're easy to use, and I think they're nice and compact. But again, super comfortable in my ear, and it's subjective to the shape of your ear as well. I left them in active noise cancellation, and I thought they did a really good job of canceling out the engine noise from the airplane. And again, I used them the entire time, so no real issues. I even compared them with AirPods Pro 3 and found that in many situations, these cancel noise better. Certain situations, it's about the same. Maybe you're typing on the keyboard, you can hear that a little bit. But then when someone came on over the loudspeaker on the plane, the pilot, you could hear that just fine, but then everything was quiet around it. It was so good I could hear better what they were saying over the loudspeaker with these in than with them out of my ears. So it did a really good job of getting rid of all the noise around me and then allowing me to hear what's around me as well. So that wasn't even an adaptive mode, it just recognized it and worked fine. However, I did find that in certain situations, like I said, it canceled noise better than others. So, for example, some ambient noise around my house, things that I would typically hear with AirPods, I couldn't hear at all with the adaptive noise cancellation enabled. So these did a really good job with that. Also, when it comes to battery life, with active noise cancellation on, they actually say it's good for about 5 hours. The flight was closer to 6 hours with taxi time and everything else, and they lasted without me placing them in the case to charge. So without even charging them up with the case, they lasted at least what they claim. So I'd say probably 6 to 6.5 hours, at least using them initially. When it comes to ambient mode, I can hear just fine. I can hear myself talk as I'm speaking to you, and I think it does a great job just picking up what's around you. Of course, you do have something in your ear. Sometimes there is a little bit of pressure there. I don't know how well they're vented, but you do feel pressure from time to time in the airplane as the cabin pressure change. That's something I noticed. When it comes to sound quality though, I'm pretty impressed with these for using them day to day with music, especially with the higher resolution audio options you get with the S25 Ultra and the S26 Ultra or any Samsung device. Switch that on, use high quality music, and you can definitely tell the difference. So it's a codec that seems to work really well, and I was impressed with it. Of course, with Samsung, you've got a full EQ, so you can adjust it however you'd like, or you can just leave it flat. So if you want a little bit more bass, turn it up. Or if you want more mids, turn that up. And it's really up to you, but I've been very impressed with the sound overall. I've been preferring to use these to listen to music if I'm using headphones or earphones. The only downsides to these at all is if you want to use a device other than Samsung, you lose some of the features. But I don't think most people will intend to use these with anything else. But I definitely will use them when editing video on my Mac. For example, when I was editing video with AirPods, the connection will sometimes degrade and then disconnect. With the Galaxy Buds 4 Pro connected to a Mac, I haven't had this happen at all. So no issues, whether I was at home or on the go here in the hotel with my laptop, no problems with it disconnecting. They just seem to work. And so again, I'm going to default to these as my main headphones. The one problem with them is they just don't auto switch from a Mac to maybe an S25 Ultra. That's something that I would love to see change, but it's seamless connections to the S25 or S26, and then of course to the Mac, you just click the Bluetooth icon and you're connected. So these are really a great experience. I also like the case, it's a little bit thinner. I would like to see it maybe even thinner this way for just throwing in a bag, but no real issues there. They definitely adhere a little bit easier. They're easier to place in the case like this. And again, I find them super comfortable, so I'm just going to default to these because they sound so good. So sound separation and everything, I think if you're happy with AirPods or Galaxy Buds, these are going to be an improvement over either one of those. We also have head gestures this time around, and you'll see it says nod or shake your head to accept or decline incoming calls. And when talking to Bixby, you can also use these gestures to answer yes or no questions or end the conversation. So you can set this up, customize it however you'd like, or just turn it off if you don't want to use it. You can also see we have some options for voice controls, so we can use Google's digital assistant or Gemini, along with Bixby, or use either one, whichever works best for us. And then we have voice commands as well, such as volume up or volume down, whatever you prefer to use. You don't have to use any of them though. And so after using the Samsung Galaxy Buds 4 Pro for about 5 days or so, I'm going to continue to use them as my main device. So when I'm editing videos, or I'm traveling, or maybe even just mowing the lawn, I'll use these to cancel out the noise and I'll have high quality sound. And I'm not just saying that because I've typically used AirPods for years, but I'm impressed enough by their comfort and their sound quality that I'm just going to use these from now on. Other than the inconvenience of switching to my editing computer and having to manually click a button, that's really the only downside here. The overall sound is just good enough to warrant me switching over to these full time. No connection issues. They just seem to work great. So let me know what you think of them in the comments below. And of course, if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.